Today I want to talk about 5 easy ways to improve your accuracy in archery. My name is James from Top 10 Performance, and today I want to talk to you about 5 easy ways to improve your accuracy in archery. To begin with, step 1 in compound archery, you really want to make sure that your draw length is set up to you. An easy starting point for this is standing your back against a wall and measuring middle finger to middle finger with your arm stretched out all the way. Subtract 15 from this measurement and then divide it by 2. And that's an easy way to get a starting point. After that, you want to draw your bow back and then have somebody either look at your anchoring and see how it feels, make sure you're not bunching up, make sure you're settling into your shot, bringing that bow to you, and the resting point of that arrow, your nocking point looks good, or your anchoring point looks good. You can film yourself if you don't have somebody around to look, and then most bows have an easy way to adjust that draw length pretty precisely now. I know a lot of them have 1/4 inch adjustments, which really helps fine tune how far back you're anchoring your bow for that draw length. Another way to improve your accuracy is whenever you're setting your peep height. So what I like to do is once my draw length's set up and it's feeling really good, technique looks good as I'm coming back, I like to find my anchor point, feel what feels level to me, close my eyes while I'm here, and then open up, and then try to have somebody make a mark on the string of what looks to be about eye height. So that's a good starting point of a place to tie in your peep sight. I always like to do a loose tie-in, and then that way you can draw back with it in. Again, close your eyes, anchor, open up, and you should be looking straight through your peep. If it's a little high or low, since you only loosely tied it in, you can slide it up or down just a little bit. Being really careful, making sure not to nick your string. Make sure you're buying a quality peep. And it might just take a couple tries of sliding up and down, but once you find that good point of when you open your eyes, you should be looking straight through that peep without having to tilt your head up or down. That can help with your accuracy, as now you have a solid anchor point because your draw length's set, and then you don't have to tilt your head up and down, which can change your anchor point, which can then thus change how you're aiming down your bow. This again is true for traditional archers, as whenever you draw back, they don't have a peep, but whenever you draw back, you want to make sure your head stays in the same position. You get that solid anchor point, so then you're doing the same thing every single time. The key to getting good accuracy is to being consistent. We want to do the same thing over and over. Setting up your bow properly is one way to help achieve that. Speaking of setting up your bow, we want to tune our bow to properly shoot the arrow as efficiently as possible. There's many ways of tuning. A lot of people like to bare shaft tune. Traditional archers bare shaft tune, make sure that their brace height's good, make sure the spine of the arrow is good. Basically, you just want to set up that bow to where it's shooting your arrow as effectively and efficiently as possible. So then you're not getting any variance in the way that it's kicking out of the bow, either too weak, too strong of a spine, your cams aren't shifted way one way, causing that arrow to leave the bow at an angle and having to correct, losing a bunch of energy downrange. Another thing to think about with tuning is tuning the way the bow feels to you. So I like to think of this as whenever we talk about our stabilizers. So a lot of that is unfortunately going to be trial and error to see what feels best for you. Whether you're shooting for hunting and you need to run, a lot of people like to run shorter bars if you have to get in and out of a tree, and you don't want to load it up if you have to hike really far. So then finding that good balance of decent weight to prevent any movement, either side to side or up and down as you're holding the bow, but then also being able to carry it without feeling like you're carrying a bag of bricks. So next up, I want to talk about form and technique. Again, to be as accurate as possible, we got to make sure we're doing the same thing repeated over and over and over. So making sure your form and your technique is on point is number one next to a nicely tuned bow. Form wise, we want to think of always having a loose grip on the bow. So you don't want to have a death grip, you don't want to be tilted too far in, too far out, as that can cant the bow one way or another, up and down. You just want to have a consistent loose grip. Let that string force the bow into the fatty part of your hand right here. That's what's going to hold it up. You can buy some wrist strings, so as you pull back, you let go, that bow's just going to catch on that wrist strap while you shoot. Another thing to think about is your draw length. So again, this comes down to, are you drawing back? Are you hiked up, not having a stable shoulder? Are you able to set those shoulders down and back while you're anchoring, squeezing back, having a good shot? If your form's not there, if you collapse in on your shot, or if you're squeezed up a lot, that can cause your shot to collapse in, making you miss. For a right-handed archer, making you miss to the right. Or again, if your form's not good, if your draw length is too long, you're overextending, and you can, for a right-hand archer, you can start missing to the left. As you're overextending, over pulling, you're pulling that bow to the left-hand side of you. Another thing, again, with form and technique, is really just getting out there and practice. So I like to, whenever practicing, I like to film myself. I can do some up-close shots, making sure my release is good, making sure I'm pulling through that shot. Some people like to do the surprise shot where you're pulling through, it breaks, it lets go. Some people are good at command shooting or just punching that trigger. It's whichever one is best for you and you feel more comfortable with. There's plenty of good archers that do both, which I know is a hot topic, but really it's whichever one you are more consistent, more accurate with. Another thing with practice is making sure we're keeping track of our arrow count. One thing that drives me insane in the archery community is somebody saying that they have problems with stability, with accuracy, or hey, I'm having a hard time drawing my bow back consistently, and people just say, shoot your bow more. Well, that's not gonna fix it, because it's already an issue. So why is shooting your bow more gonna fix an issue from shooting your bow more? So with this is where I like to bring in the conditioning aspect. I know a lot of people say you don't have to lift weights to shoot archery, and you don't, and that's fair. A lot of people shoot just fine, but with anything in life, the stronger we are, the more stable we are, the easier the things are to do. The one thing I want to add about practice is making sure we're keeping track of our arrow count or our volume that we're shooting. A lot of people like to give the advice of just shoot your bow more. And while this can help improve your technique, it can help improve your accuracy as you get used to what your bow feels like, you got to be careful with this. I don't want you going out and shooting a Vegas round and then trying to up your arrow count by 100 arrows. What that can do is that can lead to shoulder pain. It can lead to those overuse injuries while we're shooting. And then that can decrease, you get fatigued, you start shooting too much, you start getting sloppy. So usually with practice, what I like to do is I like to recommend adding 5 to 10% volume over the course of a week. I mean, you don't want to jump up, in a day, going from, again, 30 arrows to 90 arrows and then thinking everything's going to be okay. You're going to be pretty sore the next day. You're going to be very fatigued while you're shooting, and most likely your form's going to break down, and then you're building bad habits. So what I like to do to counteract that is, let's say we shoot 30 arrows one day for practice. That feels good. Next day, let's shoot 33, 35 arrows. That feels pretty good. We spend an extra couple minutes doing that. Now let's go build on some strength and conditioning to help improve our shoulder strength and stability. This doesn't have to be an hour-long workout, guys. This can just be a 10, 15-minute drill of working on shoulder strength, working on core strength, keeping that shoulder mobility, keeping your back mobility. So then as you draw back, your shoulders feel strong and steady. In a lot of other sports, they don't just go out and practice. You don't see golfers just golfing for hours and hours and hours. They strength train on top of their practice. Basketball players, they play a lot of basketball. They strength train on top of their practice. Football players, same thing. You look at any sport, NASCAR, if you consider that a sport, they drive, they also strength train to help prepare their bodies for the demand of the sport. So that is one thing that I like to have archers do, is to prepare their bodies for the demand of archery. There's a lot of other ways that you can improve your accuracy in archery. There's several shooting drills you can do. There's several other ways you can tune your bow, you can build up your strength. There's other trainers out there that you can use to help you settle into your shot. These are just a few simple ways to do it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or if there's other things that you'd like to do to improve your accuracy, let me know. If you need help overcoming an archery injury or improving your shoulder stability to improve your accuracy, check out the links below for my training programs, and let me know if there's any way I can help you.